The Unholy Bargain, David's final offering. David sat in his dimly lit study, a single flickering candle casting long shadows on the walls. His fingers traced the ancient symbols etched into the dusty, worn-out book that lay before him. This was not just any book, it was a relic, a forbidden text that promised wealth, power, and dominion over life itself at a cost most wouldn't dare to pay. But David was different. He had already made his decision. He had summoned a Yaksha, a powerful spirit of greed and hunger, bound to fulfill his deepest desires in exchange for offerings. David had everything now: money, influence, a lavish mansion far away from prying eyes. But there was something else he wanted, something only the spirit could give: eternal life. David stood in a dark forest, a circle of black candles burning around him. In the center of the circle lay his first offering, a bloodied ram. His voice trembled as he chanted the words from the ancient text, calling upon the Yaksha to accept his gift. Suddenly, the flames flickered wildly, and the wind howled through the trees. The air grew thick with a suffocating presence as the spirit appeared, a towering figure with glowing red eyes and a grotesque grin. In a voice that chilled his very bones, the Yaksha spoke. "You have called mortal. So what do you seek?" David steadied himself. "I seek wealth beyond measure. I offer this life in exchange." So the Yaksha extended a skeletal hand over the ram, and it vanished in a swirl of dark smoke. "Your offering is accepted. Your desires will be granted, but remember, each gift comes with a greater price." Over the next few years, David's wealth grew exponentially. He became a figure of immense influence, with corporations under his control, political figures in his pocket, and an empire that seemed untouchable. Each year, he performed the ritual, offering more valuable sacrifices to the Yaksha: gold, livestock, and even the souls of others who crossed him. His every wish was fulfilled, but as the Yaksha's presence grew stronger in David's life, so did the shadow of the price he would one day have to pay. One night, David sat in his lavish study, feeling invincible. His fingers once again traced the runes in the book, but this time something was different. So the text seemed to shift, the words rearranging themselves as if by some unseen force. The Yaksha appeared before him without warning, more menacing than ever. "Your final offering is due," the Yaksha growled, its voice like the grinding of bones. David's heart raced. "What more can you ask? I've given you everything." The Yaksha leaned closer, its decaying face mere inches from David's. "Not everything. For eternal life, you must offer something more precious: your soul." David recoiled in horror. "No, there must be another way." The Yaksha's grin widened. "There is, but you must complete one final ritual. If you fail, your soul will be mine. If you succeed, you will live forever." Desperation clouded David's judgment. He agreed. On a stormy night, David stood in the basement of his mansion, the walls covered in arcane symbols drawn with chalk. In the center of the room was a sacrificial altar, and the air was thick with the smell of incense and decay. The final ritual had begun. He recited the incantations, his voice trembling, sweat pouring down his face. But something went wrong. He skipped a word, just one. The candles flickered violently, and the air grew cold. The Yaksha appeared, but this time its grin was gone, replaced by a look of dark satisfaction. "You failed," it hissed. "Now, your soul is mine." Before David could scream, the Yaksha lunged at him, its claws sinking into his chest. Pain shot through his body as his vision blurred. He felt his life force draining away, his soul being ripped from his body. In his final moments, David realized his fatal mistake. His greed, his arrogance, they had led him to this. The Yaksha had always known he would fail. The next morning, David's body was found lifeless in his mansion, his eyes wide open in terror. No one knew the true cause of his death, but rumors spread quickly, stories of dark rituals and forbidden pacts. And deep within the shadows of the mansion, the Yaksha still lingered, waiting for its next victim. After all, it was always hungry, and there were always more souls to claim. This was David's story, one of power, greed, and ultimate destruction. His name would be forgotten, but his fate would serve as a chilling reminder to all who sought to make deals with forces beyond their control.